Oh. Hi, I'm Ben, and I am playing Joel in Project Spores.
Hi, my name is Nika, and I play Abby in Project Spores.
And I am, confusingly enough, Abby, and I'm playing Ellie in Project Spores, and we are also your writers, producers, social media managers, and all-round, pretty much whole production team for the whole of the project, really. And we thought we would pop on here and just answer some really frequently asked questions, and yeah, just give you guys a bit more info as much as we can about the project in the run-up to, hopefully, a release date at some point.
At some point.
Yeah, at one point.
When we can be bothered.
Yeah, we're just kind of lazing around, not doing a lot, so, you know.
Nah, we don't have many more shoots and editing and everything to do. It's fine.
Two more shoots. We have 2 more shoots to go, and then we should have all of the footage that we need before we start editing, handing over to our lovely composers, and starting to get a bit of a sound design together for the film, and actually figuring out how long it's going to be. That will be interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll go into that when we get to questions, and yeah, try and give you guys a bit more solid info, really, as much as we can tell you. Obviously, everything's still really in production. We're still filming things, so in terms of like final release dates and everything, as we will talk about when we get to the questions, this is all sort of up in the air and could change dependent on personal situations. So yeah, we should probably follow our questions.
Get into
really.
it, yeah. We'll talk about some things we constantly get asked anyway. So first things first, we don't have a release date yet. It will come. It's coming. Hopefully end of the year, but it's currently still TBC, to be continued.
Everything goes according to plan. The end of the year, early 2022, we should have a release date set in place, and we will be looking to have a bit of an event for the release, as well as releasing directly onto YouTube. There'll be a premiere on YouTube because it has this great new function where you can have a premiere building up to it, and then throughout the duration of the film there's a live chat where we can answer questions as it goes along, or deal with my mum trying to figure out how to type on YouTube for the first time.
Might be.
We will heavily announce it everywhere. It will be everywhere when we do have a date.
And
one point.
We do get asked 4 or 5 times a week when it's coming out. Different people on different platforms. So
we are trying our best, but we
coming.
all have jobs and our students,
real life,
and life. This is all a side hustle we're doing for fun.
As Ben mentioned, we have 2 more main shoots, which should hopefully get the majority of footage. The last one being in October. As we are recording this, it is currently the very end of August, and September starts tomorrow. So it's all kind of like coming up really quickly. But yeah, in terms of release date, again, we're not giving an exact one now because we don't want to disappoint anyone. We'd rather wait until we're sure that we've got all the footage we need, all of things like the ADR, the composers have done all the music properly, and obviously it's completely dependent on personal situations as well, what with real life. So
some of us have children, some of us have children on the way, we have jobs, we have commitments, so this is very much we're fitting it in as and when we can.
And with a big cast, we need to make it work for everyone. A bigger cast than we ever expected. So the next thing we talk about the format of the film. We've been asked if it's episodes, films. What is it gonna be?
So the format of the film, we've been asked multiple times whether it's going to be episodic or whether it's going to be 1 3-hour epic, or if it's going to be a 5-minute blast that we do. We are making 1 single film to release. It's not going to be episodic. It's going to be a single fan film. It's going to be, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's going to be somewhere between the 20 and 30 minute mark with the footage that we have. It was never dictated by the length of the film. It was how we decided to shoot the footage. None of us have made a film before, and none of us know the process. So we have a script that we following, and we're gonna put it all together when we have all the footage together. So one film.
Next up, how did we cast everyone? Funny story.
Well, I was actually headhunted for the role of Joel.
Well, I'll start on how. So last year in August, Sam, our director, approached me and Abby, or Ellie, confusing me. But we were approached to do a shoot with Sam, and we both said yes. And from there on, Ben got involved as Joel. I think I asked you to join.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, we'd never fully met before, any of us.
No, so none of us knew each other. I knew, well, I had heard of Abby in a cosplay scene. I think we had a lot of, I think we had a lot of mutuals. I mean, we're like, yeah, cool. This Sam guy sounds all right.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. And then I had never met Ben. He got involved. And then Scott offered, I knew Scott through friends. Scott offered to be Owen. And that's kind of how everyone got involved. We just put a little casting call out on Instagram. Who wants to join this project we're going to do in Guildford in England at one point. I don't even think we decided on the location at the time. We just wanted to get together.
Together to shoot. And Sam had an idea for a short film he wanted to make. My kitten's eating the chair. Sam had a short film that he wanted to make around The Last of Us, so we all met up to film that. It came out really well. We all had a great day. Some of us had a better day than others.
We had some problems with the location. All turned out okay, but we lived. Yeah,
I'm too old for that panic. But we had a great time doing that and shooting that. And we all sort of planned that on the fly, as we cosplayers tend to do with photo shoots and things like that. And it was after that where the three of us said, if we had a bit of time and a bit of planning, we could actually do something quite cool here.
Yeah, and because we were still in the middle of lockdowns, there were no conventions happening, so we were all willing to put a bit more time in, and it was really the only thing we had going on in our usual cosplay life. So it kind of got out of hand a bit.
It's grown arms and legs, and we got Sam on board straight away. He was so up for it, and he has been absolutely fantastic the whole way through. The man has just an eye for film. He's genius.
Yeah, and I think we just have a really good team of different people working together, and we originally started with 8 people. So it was Clara, Jack, and Hattie, who are basically our extras and executive producers. They've been all kinds of, Hattie has been basically everything.
Hattie's not it.
To kind of round up that question, essentially this just started out as Nika and I being invited to do a Ellie and Abby photo shoot, and then we were like, what if we did a video? Sam sort of mentioned, then we can grab a few more people to sort of fill it out. Did the video, we enjoyed it, and then yes, obviously we went back into a lockdown. We were all talking about we want to get our creative juices flowing. So we just started talking about doing something bigger, really, and what if we had a script, and what if we did the same thing but better, and we just planned it out better. And then it went from there, really. As soon as we started talking about it, and we had mutual friends that were cosplaying from The Last of Us, and we were like, if we had that character, that'd be awesome. We just sort of started asking about, and people came forward and were like, I'd love to do this. So it's not been anything of auditions or anything like that. This has literally just been a group of friends getting together and then making a thing.
So we'll just confirm, we've actually not done any proper casting. We've just asked on our social medias, does anyone want to be involved with this? And that's basically how we got everyone involved. A lot of us haven't acted before. We've kind of just gotten full in for it. hope for the best. And went with it. I feel like, because I didn't have any prior acting experience, same for Ben, and we've kind of just gone off everyone else's performance. Like Sophie and Abby have done some acting before, and after seeing both of them, it was like, shit, we have to pull this off. We have to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And outside of the cast who are in the film, we sort of mentioned before that we have 2 composers who are working with us as well now, both of which are absolutely fantastic. We didn't contact them. We were just going to be using stock sounds that we had available during the editing process, but they contacted us and offered their services to the project. Both big fans of The Last of Us, and now we're talking about having a soundtrack for the individual scenes. We're talking about having like an original soundtrack for the credit scene. It's again growing arms and legs quite quickly, which is awesome.
Yeah, we never planned this to be this big, and I think after our first teaser, it kind of became apparent that it could be something quite big. So we ran with it.
When we say this big, we don't. It's not a delusions of grandeur thing. It's not a.
No.
It's not that this is going to break the internet or something like that. But it's the amount of work that we are putting in. We talk about this all day, every day at the minute.
It's basically a second job at this point.
All I do at the minute is look after a toddler, work my job, and then Project Spores. That's it. And I'm tired, man.
Yeah, it's hard work. You think something like this is a little side project, but there's a lot of arranging that comes along with all of this. Especially when you have, we love it. We absolutely love it. I've not been able to stop thinking about The Last of Us for over a year now.
Yeah, same.
Do you know what? I've not even done a second playthrough yet.
Oh my god.
Oh, how bad's that? I'm playing Dead Space at the minute.
But you've probably watched so many cutscenes.
I've seen so much.
How do we go about finding locations?
So, I guess I'll kind of start this one. After our first shoot last year, we found a location and we thought it'd be awesome. And it was a thing of, right, we'll rock up, see if it's suitable on the day, and go from there. And obviously, as with any abandoned, decrepit building nowadays, it's a health and safety hazard and you really shouldn't be there. And we really shouldn't have been there. It wasn't a location we booked. We just turned up to hope for the best in terms of like security, because we weren't sure what the situation was with things like security and like how much of the property was like private property basically. And as was mentioned, we had a little bit of like, we didn't have any like real trouble, but it was a risk having that amount of people on a property that we hadn't hired basically. So that's where this year then came into effect. When we started planning scenes, we were like, right, we need to actually hire locations and find locations that we know we're going to be all safe and that we can film at easily enough with, all the equipment we need and the amount of people needed.
One of the big issues there is safety. So everything we've been doing within COVID guidelines for filming before everything was lifted. Outside of that, filming in places where you would want to film a post-apocalyptic film, they are dangerous, and you've got to be sensible about what you do. So, for instance, we hired for one day shooting. We hired an abandoned boarding school, but it's an actual filming location. There's some guys there. They do ghost hunts and stuff there on evenings. That place was definitely haunted.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Shit out of me, but it was incredible. We hired the place for the day. They showed us the lay of the land. They showed us how everything worked, what we could do, what we couldn't do. We have public liability insurance for the shoots, so we're all covered legally with insurance. We have done everything as safe and as we physically can, and actually, no one's got hurt yet. So
No.
No.
And with hiring locations as well, the bigger the cast has got and the bigger the crew has got, we need facilities. So if we hire a location that we know is taken care of, we then have toilets, electricity, and we could have cups of tea and coffee throughout the day because we had working electric. So
yeah. And it's also just for makeup, and we just need a professional space for us to work properly, even if it's just to charge batteries or eat and drink. Because we can't have a cast of 16 people in a location and not provide like a toilet.
16. We had 16 people at that shoot. That blows my mind.
Yeah, 16
that's
people.
insane.
A couple of dweebs trying to make a GCS.
Yeah, and the next shoot is 14 again. Like, we're a proper little cast.
Crazy.
Yeah. And on how we found these locations, it's basically almost all gone through online research and trying to find stuff in areas we all live around. And this really great website called Scouty that has studios on it and places you can rent out to film or do shoots or whatever.
Yeah, Scouty's been fantastic. We've used that quite
Yeah.
a lot. We haven't been doing any more urban exploring this time. We haven't been going to any abandoned buildings that we shouldn't be at. We haven't been doing anything like that for Project Spores. This has all been done as officially as we possibly can for, like I said, a couple of dweebs who don't work for a production company. We're doing everything as safe and legally as we can. So one thing we get asked about quite a lot is the budget, and it's something we've had a lot of questions about. Every other day we get asked about it. We've had people making comments about it on some of the posts and stuff. It's something that there seems to be a little bit of a misconception about. We have no budget. This is very much self-funded. All of our costumes we've made ourselves. All of our hair and makeup we do ourselves. We had a principal photography shoot in May, which was self-funded. We all chipped in and booked a studio, and got the first photos for the sort of like core concept of what Spores was going to be and how we were going to do things. And following on from that, we started our social media. We released our coffee. We released our crowdfunding platform, which the response to it has just been incredible. Like, so humbling.
So thankful.
Abby can't even say the words because she's got a mouthful of pretzels. But
honestly,
we're so thankful. We have cried a few times.
Yeah, we honestly never thought people would want to give us money to do this.
And that's just the fans of The Last of Us. They are very divisive around The Last of Us 2. But while there's a lot of hate for the game in one corner, the other side adore it. And the fact that we started a stupid idea to make a stupid video that we wanted to do for ourselves, and people have paid into that. And we couldn't have booked some of the location we were at in September, the location we were at last month. We couldn't have done any of that without the donations that have come in. So really sincerely and very, very humbly, thank you so much for all of this.
From all of us, we are just all so thankful.
We honestly freak out anytime anyone donates something. It goes in a group chat with a screenshot, like, people have donated again.
It's on Ko-Fi, so it's £3 donations, and every time we get a £3 donation, there's a group chat of 15, 16, 20 people who are just, oh my god, I can't believe someone's put more money towards.
Every single person that donates, no matter how much we know about you, like, seriously, thank you so much.
And it's not even just for the locations. You know, we had a bit of an emergency at the last shoot when we were shooting on the beach where the camera froze, and we had a panic about the footage, because when you see the film, you'll understand why we only had one chance to get the shots that we got. But we nearly lost them that night, and the account that we have that the donations go into, we went straight to Argos and bought a hard drive to back everything up that night, so we had extra copies just to make doubly sure.
Literally at like 9:30, 10 at night, like
half an hour of panic.
After we finished filming, we were like, we need to go get a hard drive now.
But it's all from the donations. We couldn't have done something to standard that we think we're doing this without that help. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
All right. So one question we've had is what technical stuff we use, so cameras and microphones. And we've asked Sam, our director, so Ben's going to tell you now.
So Sam has given us a very extensive list of all the equipment that he uses. I think primarily the question was around what sort of camera you're using. He's using a Sony A7 III or A7 III. I don't know anything about cameras. He's then gone on to list out the lenses that he's using, the DJI Mini 2 drone that he uses for a lot of our more cinematic shots, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, just everything that he's using is listed here. I don't want to read through it all because it will just be someone who doesn't understand what he's reading out, reading a list of things. But what we'll do is we'll put it in the description to the video.
I'll pop it up on screen now as well whilst we're talking about this. Though you can see it will be on screen now.
Somewhere here.
The power of editing. While we talk about that, actually, yeah. So all the BTS stuff I edit. So I do all of the BTS videos that you see on the channel, and just I think it's quite cool to talk about. I film everything on this little dude here. I forget where my camera is, which is a DJI Osmo Pocket 2, and it's just this tiny little 4K camera that you just film with. And we've literally, for BTS stuff, we've just been passing it all around the cast throughout the day, and it's just a really helpful little camera. You can do like full cosplay music videos on this and everything.
It is awesome.
It's really useful.
It's the same brand as what Sam uses with his drones as well, so we know it's a really good little brand.
All right, next question we've had is, aside from the experience, what will you all take from this project? Well, a life crisis.
Yeah.
5 lawsuits.
A lawsuit, a breakdown, and at least someone's going home with crabs.
And at least we have a whole crew of new friends, I guess.
I don't know how to answer that question without sounding either pretentious or soppy, and I don't.
I think we're all similar in that way that this has honestly saved my lockdown year.
Yeah. Same.
Like, this has kind of got me through what was a pretty shitty year for most people. But yeah,
I think everyone who's involved has had their own struggles over the last year, be it with having COVID or mental health or all sorts of things, loneliness, just anything that has come out of this shitstorm that we've been in. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it saved my sanity. At times it has been a focal point to work around. It you know, I've got work and I've got a family here, and that's amazing, but sometimes you need that creative escape or something to do outside of that, and this has been a bit of a safe place for me, and it's been fantastic. And I've met some incredible people, and I want to do this forever. I want to make films, and I want to work with these guys, and it's been awesome.
We've all made friends for life through
Yeah,
this.
I think this group of people, I don't know how we all got together, but literally everyone likes each other. I think that's what helps this project feel so passionate, because we are all so incredibly passionate about it.
Yeah.
We want to do well for each other and with each other. So
Yeah.
And I think that's quite a vital thing that I, especially as the Ellie of the group, like, we don't take this film as a competition. We don't take this as we want to be the best film out there, or we want to. This is just about passion, and it's just about all of us being creative and having fun. And if other people can enjoy that at the same time as we're enjoying it, that's what's the most important thing.
yeah.
And it's helped personally. It's given me, I've echoed the sentiment, it's just saved my mental health like greatly through lockdown and given me something to work towards. And it's given me a lot of discipline within my own. I'm not like a massive actor. I've done quite a bit of stage stuff before, but I've mostly done backstage. But it's helped give me a bit of discipline doing such like a taxing emotional role. It's really helped give me a bit of discipline and almost work out my own feelings, really, as like in relation to the emotions Ellie goes through. And some of the acting I've done in the film has been like from the heart. So it's helped me learn more about myself, really, which sounds really cheesy, but it's true.
There's one scene, and it's not a spoiler. It's that scene that and we had everyone in the room. There's 16 of us on the day, and everyone was there. And I was asleep, to be honest. But Abby was doing Ellie's reaction to that scene, and when we called cut, and Sam would have kept filming, and I called cut because we had to stop because it was too much for everybody. It was so raw, and it was difficult to be in that room.
It was hard. Like, I had to kind of disassociate because I knew I had to do my part of the scene after. And I didn't want to get too involved because it's just so rough. Like, everything felt rough. And you see in the behind the scenes, you can see everyone kind of like, oh my God.
No, I was just going to say that's a really interesting thing, because I remember the evening after we did that. Sorry, this is really going off topic of the question. But you two, I think it was in the car home, you two asked me, it was one of you two asked me, do you remember what happened after that? And I was just like, no, like I just had, after that scene, which again goes back to the thing of how close we've all got, I just kind of had to take myself to the side of the room and just really compose myself for the next like 5 minutes. And I just didn't really talk to anyone immediately after that, because I just had to compose myself. And the fact that a group of people of that size can just understand that and just check in, it's just been such an incredible experience, and everyone is just incredible, amazing.
And just after you'd had your 5 minutes composing yourself, you came and gave me a big hug, you cried all over my chest, and you killed the continuity of the film.
I know. I did. I'm sorry.
Next question is, if you played both the first and the second game, which do you prefer to play as between adult Ellie or Joel?
Ellie.
Ellie, but also Abby. So, but that's not the question.
I'm a stealth player, so to have an unlimited blade that wasn't breaking, I didn't have to make shivs every 2 minutes. Like I did with Joel, was amazing. Why the hell Joel didn't just get a penknife at some point, I don't know. That man's an idiot. But
yeah, why doesn't anyone just get a knife?
Am I wrong?
No, you're dead right. You're dead right.
Especially for the infected, like, so useful.
Yeah.
Ellie just plays really nice as well. She's really light to play as, which I know is the whole thing of playing as like a 19-year-old girl versus like a 45-year-old man. But I just really enjoy how stealthy Ellie is. I just think it's a great play style.
Yeah. Right. This one is for our writer, Ben. How difficult was it coming up with new dialogue for the characters? Abby, you're off camera.
What is happening? Da, da, da.
Okay, so the question is, well, specifically for the writer, the question is, how difficult was it coming up with new dialogue for the characters?
Not very, because we've spent a lot of time rewatching cutscenes and understanding the characters from the game, and even before Spores, there was so much conversation about this game and who the characters were and why they did the things that they did. It's one of the big divisive things about the game. So when we decided we were going to do Spores, without giving anything away, the story itself is a mix of scenes that we're doing our take on from the game and scenes that are new and tell little bits of the story in between. So once I pinned down how the story that I wanted to tell through the film we were making, the rest of it sort of just flowed out, because we know the characters so well. That sounded really wanky. It just flowed.
It just flowed.
It just came from hand to paper.
To be fair, we did all sort of. I mean, you wrote pretty much all of it. I wrote one scene. I wrote Ellie and Dina's scene. So it was when, like, if you were slightly unsure, I think I asked you actually. I think I asked if I could write a scene, because I had a really specific idea in my head for a certain scene that is in the final film. That then, reading through the rest of what Ben had already written, I then sort of melded it to how he'd written the characters. But yeah, we'd all had such conversations about the characters and intentions and that before, that it was really interesting to watch it come to life in someone's independent, someone's unique way. And we hope that it comes across really well in the script, like when you guys see the final thing.
Yeah, I think we just wanted it to be true to the game, but also have our own side to it, really. Like, we want to not have it be a complete recreation.
Yeah, because why would we recreate the game and the stuff we've already seen when there's so much more to explore?
Yeah,
and it's not retelling in a way where we're changing anything. There's not going to be major character deaths that aren't in the game. There's not going to be people surviving that don't in the game. It is very much the story of The Last of Us, written by Neil
some fans.
It's retold in a way to shorten it and convey similar points and slightly different takes on themes such as PTSD, which is one of the themes in the game. So it's twisted around slightly to try and tell it slightly differently.
Next question: how is the work environment? We've touched base on this a little bit, but yeah.
The work environment. I have done every single one of we have a producers call every Tuesday night, and I have done every single one of them not wearing pants.
You're not?
Wait.
I'm not either.
I've got shorts on. No, it's not a work environment.
It's just a group of friends. We're just a group of people.
It's not a professional thing. There's
we are professional when we have to be, but
the three of us take it very seriously. We do have a weekly call to organise what's going on that week. We do
social
We
media.
organise social media. We organise how things are going to be posted, how things are going to be discussed. Anything that goes online through the Spores channel goes through one of the three of us first. But that being said, it's a group of friends messing around with a camera. It's not a work environment. There's no one cracking a whip.
No, but we can, like we mentioned, we can be very professional when we need to be. I think that's really apparent when you watch like the BTS, especially the latest one from the August weekend we did at the school. There's some really awesome clips where you see Ben especially like talking to the group and just seeing how engaged. And another way to really see that is on our Instagram. We have saved some of the lives that we've done, and you can see like the work environment and how we direct things on the day and how we put together some shots. There's a really interesting. There's one of my favorite, I love watching them back because it's great to like watch it from an outsider's perspective, but there's the bit where in the live we filmed a scene with, it was Tommy, Joel, Jesse and Ellie, and you just see how we put that shot together outside and then go straight into another shot, and just how we work together to make it flow.
Yeah, and
it's
I feel
just a
like
really nice environment.
Yeah, we try to be as prepared as we can beforehand.
Yeah.
So we don't have to deal with that part of it on the day.
We do the hard work beforehand. We have the first aid kits and the insurance and the bookings and and the food, and between the three of us, we've generally got that sorted before the weekend of the shoot. And then on the weekend of the shoot, it's just a group of friends hanging out and being big kids with a camera and costumes and toy guns.
Yeah.
The next question: does the cast apply their makeup themselves, or do you have someone doing it for them? We do that all ourselves.
We do it all ourselves or on each other.
Yeah. We have no professional people. We just do everything ourselves, even wigs, costumes, everything.
Our Maria, Helen, is also a hairdresser, so she did dish out haircuts at the last shoot. I was promised a tidy up haircut afterwards, and I had to leave for a family emergency, and I
didn't get it either. I was also promised a tidy up haircut, but it's fine.
She was going to be credited as cast hairdresser, but I think I'm going to take it off for now.
What? Don't let her hear it.
But yeah, we all do our own stuff ourselves. Obviously none of us are professional, but I've grown up doing makeup for theatres backstage since I was like 10. I always help because my mum's been makeup and hair for theatre for years. So I'm very lucky that I'm trained in all sort of areas. So like the last shoot, I did Tommy's beard, so he had a whole fake beard put on that we made, and then Ben's Joel makeup, I smashed his face in. So
very method. She applied
very method.
Most of the makeup was applied with a hammer, so she did that really well.
Yeah. So yeah, we all pretty much do our own or help each other out. And this is something that we need to remember with, like, when people ask about budgeting as well. With the hair, the makeup, the directing, the acting, the roles, like, we're doing the job of about 7 to 10 different people each. Which
and that's
is
everyone who's involved is
like a normal cast will have hundreds of people, but we're taking everything on with just a group of probably 12 core people, possibly even less. And then we also do all the behind the scenes, the marketing, the post-production, the pre-production. Is literally everything in a small crew. So we're trying to make it work. I mean, makeup and wigs are also definitely not cheap. So
I'm on my 3rd Ellie wig now, baby. Oh yeah.
I've got 2 for Abby, and I could luckily use my own hair for a bit, so useful. What was your biggest surprise, the thing you learned about filming?
Should we have an answer each?
Yeah. Abby, what was your biggest surprise that you learned about filming?
I mean, what's your biggest surprise about the whole project, I think, and the filming around it?
Okay, I'll answer that in 2 parts. Biggest surprise about the project has been the reaction to it. You know, that one day that went absolutely crazy where Games Radar, Games Ran, where was it, Twinfinite, NME, like, shared us. That was just the most insane day. Like, none of us were expecting that from that tiny teaser we did. And just, the amount of social media, you know, attention we've had has just been insane. That's been the most surprising thing about the project as a whole. What was the second part?
The thing you learned about filming.
I think, I think personally for me, it's been the learning how to switch my emotions for Ellie, really, because there's I absolutely, if you follow my cosplay page, you'll know I've cosplayed Pennywise. I really like Bill Skarsgård as an actor. I really like how he does Pennywise. And there's an interview where he talks about playing that role, and he talks about how during filming he felt really lonely at times because he would just have to take himself away and just keep in that headspace. And for me, I'm very much a social person and I very much love to joke around with people. But I found that the last shoot where we did Joel's death and we did some more really prominent scenes, I really had to just take a step back sometimes and compose myself and keep myself in that headspace. Otherwise, it would have been really easy to get upset. So I think that's been the biggest thing for me, learning how to switch Abby off and be Ellie for those times, because it is a really like emotionally taxing role. Really emotionally taxing at times, but it's worth it, hopefully.
I think for me the most surprising, next to what Abby has already mentioned, is that I actually can act. I honestly didn't think I could. I always said I was awful at acting, and I think the main thing I've realized is that the biggest thing is turning your embarrassment off.
Yes.
So I never did that before, and I think because this group of people is so great, I just felt like I had to do it for the group, and also because I want to do Abby justice. Like, she's meant so much to me, and I was like, I want to fully commit to this now. It took a bit of time, but I think when we fully decided we wanted to do this, I just went, okay, whatever, I'm gonna do it.
No, it's a really good point about embarrassment, because we, as Abby and Ellie, we have a few fight scenes and we did a few photos, and we just had to completely switch off because we'd just be breathing and grunting in each other's faces, and it would be really hard to like not laugh, but it's just to do.
And I think especially compared to like the first time we did it together, we couldn't stop laughing. It was the same when I had to interact with Scott. We were both incredibly embarrassed, and now we just look at each other and it's like, okay, let's go. We're now Abby and Owen and not Scott and Nika anymore, and we just turn that off, and that's been amazing for me. Like, it's like something I didn't think I'd enjoy, and I do really enjoy it now. So that's really cool. And the thing about filming, I think the insane effort we have to go through to get this all together before shooting, so much time, and I just can't get it out of my head. Like, I'm thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
Most surprising thing, and what I've learned about filming, probably the same thing. For me, it was during the day on the Saturday when we were filming at the big abandoned boarding school, and just when we got there, it was the day just clicked. Everything made sense. When I'd written the script, I wasn't writing it particularly with how things were going to be shot in mind. That I couldn't visualize what the different bits would look like, but I knew it made sense as a story and as written word. But when we were there on the day, the thing that surprised me the most is I could see it all playing out, and I knew exactly where everything needed to be for what we needed to do and how we needed to get the shot. And the surprise for me was it worked. Like, what came out of it is awesome, and that was me and Sam on that Saturday.
Yeah, 100%.
Me, Sam and Carlos on that Saturday, talking about how different things needed to play, where we needed the lighting, how we needed the camera to be, how we needed the shot to be framed, and it clicked. And I never thought I'd be involved in something like that, and to be a big part of it was awesome.
I think everyone kind of accepts as well who does what role. Like, we're all really clear in who's good at what and how things work the best. Like, and especially on set, that was so noticeable. Like, you just know where everyone's place was and how that would turn out. And I didn't think that was something that would really surprise me about filming, but it just clicked. I think it's the group as well, but everything just fell into place.
Considering it's not a professional outfit, it's just a group of friends.
Yeah.
Everyone felt like they had on the day like it was a professional outfit, and it was just cool, wasn't it? It was incredible to see it come together, considering it's just
and it's cool that people come up to you as well. They're like, oh, I have to talk to you about this because I know you know all about this, and you're like, oh, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the questions that were being asked of me on the day were just like, either I don't know or I don't care. If you need a shit, just go.
I'm not your mum.
I'm not your mum.
Everyone asked, like, that was the general feeling. Like, everyone felt like, oh, I'm gonna ask them because they've arranged all of this. And
to be fair, I had that. Like, we were doing quite a intense scene with quite a few people, and Ben was downstairs doing his thing, and I just sent someone down. I was like, you go get Ben, please, to make sure that we've choreographed this and we think we've done it, but we just need the seal of approval.
Yeah, it was the same. I remember we had to start a live stream and it turned 3, my alarm went off, and I was like, Abby.
Yeah.
It was like, help me.
Where's your phone?
Who did you bond with the most during filming?
So from the outside, if you don't mind me saying, I would say that between the two of you, you've bonded together the most during the filming because of the scenes that you've done. Watching the chemistry between the two characters when you're doing it is just insane, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For me, it'd be Sam. That Saturday when we were like, I can't think of a duo. Cannon and ball.
Yeah.
Sure.
We killed it. We absolutely killed it, and it clicked. It was so good. We just worked off each other so well, and it was awesome. And I cannot wait for next weekend to do it again.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of good stuff coming next weekend. But yeah, no, I agree. You two, I would say, who I've bonded with most. Nico, obviously. The Abby and Ellie don't really interact a lot, but the stuff that we have done, it's been so intense. But we've taken such good care of each other that obviously everyone knows that we filmed the fight in the sea, and just that whole evening, just like holding on to each other and checking in with each other and just making sure we're okay, as well as acting really strong. It was just really intense, but so worth it. And then with Ben, Joel and Ellie, just
Woo! I think it's also like we obviously speak to each other so often, so we've started quite a close friendship, and you just constantly talk about everything. And I mean, to be honest, with the entire cast, like I've also obviously been filming a lot with Danny, who's our Lev, and Scott, who's Owen. And then also just everyone else involved. Everyone's just so lovely, and everyone always messages even after a shoot, and I feel like it's just a group effort at this point.
We've all bonded.
Everyone's bonded. It's just the people you obviously speak to a bit more and have to act alongside a bit more, and it's just we're so lucky we all get along.
Yeah.
You hear all these horror stories from films where people don't get along and they just have to deal with it. But for us, it's just
that was never going to happen with this, because we, coming back to the budget, any of the money that's donated, none of it goes to us at any point. We are not being paid to do any of this. This is all a passion project for ourselves. So if we didn't bond with each other and there wasn't that relationship there, we wouldn't be doing it.
No,
it's the same. It's not just with Ellie and Abby or Ellie and Joel or the director and the people in the city. It's with everybody. It has to be across everybody, because everyone's so invested and everyone gets on so well. And
I think Nika and I've said it especially, but we've had the conversation of like, I don't feel like a main character, and that's amazing, because it shouldn't be. It's a complete group effort, and I don't feel like a main character because everyone is working equally as hard, no matter how small their role, and is so supportive. Which is great. It's so good.
I mean, everyone puts their bit in. Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard. We can't do this with all the people, because it would be absolute chaos. We've done it a few times.
It was absolute
lockdown quizzes. It's absolute chaos. Like you can see on our live streams. Things just like there's so many people, But yeah. Cool. Next one. Did any of you audition for a certain character and then go cast for another one?
It's a funny story. Abby actually auditioned for Joel.
I didn't fucking get Joel though, did I?
Didn't get it.
I grew the beard and everything.
Next question. Will there be violence and an age rating?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely violence.
I mean, I don't know if we can, like, obviously we'll put a disclaimer that this is intended for mature audiences, but we don't need to put some sort of like age rating because we're not releasing it anywhere really outside of YouTube for now. No, we're not releasing it anywhere outside of YouTube. And there is definitely violence. I think I've killed not real, obviously. I think I've killed 5 people.
I'll be doing 2 next weekend.
So we're all getting a bit of action.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm probably on like 8.
You killed me.
It's not.
Yes. And then Helen like 3 times. I've obviously killed the big spoiler.
You played golf.
It's not super gory. Again, coming with having no budget, we don't have much in the way of practical effects or any expertise of visual effects. But there's plenty of implied violence. There's a couple of good deaths in there so far.
There's a lot of emotional violence. It's very emotional.
Just being around Abby for a weekend is emotional violence.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
I've heard that multiple times.
Yeah. Staying in a big apartment together. Emotional violence.
Seeing me in the morning is emotional violence.
Yeah. Seeing me in the morning is emotional violence.
This chat is emotional violence. So far, internet connection. Anyway. So the last 2 questions we've basically already answered. There are standard, when is the release date? And is this going to be a movie, short, or multiple episodes? So we're done.
Right, so bear with me, right? Because I'm going to try and share my screen while we're recording and see if it picks it up. So the last thing to talk about tonight is we closed our raffle today. Again, without... Hey!
There it is.
Beautiful diorama, handcrafted by our wonderful Abby herself.
Oh, beautiful.
The actual part will not have blurred, censored bits on it.
No.
But we closed the raffle today. As we mentioned, we don't have anything. We're trying to do things where we can make it a bit more interesting for the people who are donating towards us. And we want to give back something more. So I'm going to try and share my screen. And we are going to select the winner from the raffle. We had some people entered multiple times, but all in all, we had 106 entries to the raffle. The names of which
106 entries.
Yeah. And I'm going to shuffle them a couple of times, so it's all random. And then I'm just going to pick a random name. And our winner, Hannah Benson.
Hannah Benson.
Benson, you have won.
You have won.
So,
it's really blurry. Leave my face in it.
Thank you everyone for entering. We will put a post in our story when this video goes live, mentioning that Tanner has won. But I will also contact Tanner now, I guess.
Yes.
Ahead of time. So it won't be a surprise for Tanner when this comes around. But yeah, thank you everyone for entering. Again, 106 entries is £309. That's huge. That was pretty much the majority of one of the studios that we've hired for the shoot. So it's absolutely massive.
And that's just people putting like the least amount in, at that number. And
that will we'll get that sent out to Tanner. There will likely be another raffle of some description coming up. We have We had a very, very, very big response to people asking about the posters that Nika's designed and printed. They're 2 images that Carlos Adama took, and Nika has made movie posters, which you can actually see on IMDb now, which is awesome. But we're looking to put some of them up for sale as well, and there's been a big reaction to that. So we're going to try and get that up this week so people could actually start buying them if anyone was interested. Again, all the proceeds go directly to the film. Anything that doesn't get spent on buying studios or anything like that, one thing we're toying with at the minute is a screening of the film on the day we release it. That will be a charity screening. We haven't decided the charities yet, but it will be split between 2, and we have an idea of the type of charities that we'll be donating to, which are close to quite a lot of our hearts.
And relevant to themes of The Last of Us as well.
Relevant to themes of the film. So any excess money that we have in the account will be going towards booking a cinema to do a screening, and then after that, any excess money we have will be getting donated to charity. So none of this will see our pockets. It won't be spent on anything other than making the film or helping people. So thank you so much again for.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, so we will be doing another raffle. We do have options of what we're going to raffle off, including signed posters and another little, she needs painting up, but you might get a chance to win another Switchblade on its own, so...
Very nice.
I hope that's answered some of the questions that we've been receiving, and it's not seemed like 3 people just wanting to talk for the sake of talking.
If you've made it all this way through, congratulations. It's been a long one, so
I'm not going to watch it back.
Who knows? Maybe I'll put it on. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for the engagement. Thank you for watching everything that we're doing so far. Thank you for following us on the socials, and just we can't wait to show you what else comes next.
Yeah, and to everyone that
shares. It comes from all our team, not just the 3 of us. Everyone else involved.
Yeah.
Bye!
Joel in 1.
Joel in 1! Spores and shit.
Spores and shit.
I'm going to play the Wii golfing theme throughout this video.
Anytime I start talking.